50-50. All right, I want to tie together a couple of ends here and have a conversation about the Bills on Christmas.
Yeah. By the way, Jeremy, during break, sometimes I feel like we might need to get have segments that are dedicated specifically to video during the break.
Yeah.
Because somebody could have photoshopped like a mad scientist the things you were doing. You were like, wait, it's going to be here and they're going to announce this. He's like, no, I'm going to save it. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to save it.
Well, this was always.
So here we go.
It's like the movie where it's been right in front of us the whole time. The answer's been right in front of us the whole time, and I've got a guy CJ on Twitter saying I've been saying this for a week. I've thought for a long time the Bills are going to play on Christmas. All right, let's tie the threads together, and then decide how we want to do this. Bills fans, let's get on the phones with what you would prefer. That way we're not complaining about it after the fact. If we get on the record first, you get to complain afterwards. So here it is. The 2025 NFL schedule release is Wednesday, May 14th. The guests on that show include Jim Nance, Kevin Burkhardt, Al Michaels, and Deion Dawkins.
Oh!
Now that's Wednesday.
Right.
So the Buffalo Bills offensive tackle is just going to be one of the featured guests on the schedule release. My guess is, what are they going to do? They're going to want to have some conversations about the Bills' schedule. Deion, what do you think about blank? Now, what are the things they might ask Deion Dawkins about? I know. Well, Deion, we see the schedule here, and it looks like such and such will be the final game at Highmark Stadium, regular season. What will that be like? Isn't that definitely a question for Dawkins as part of... Okay.
100%.
As part of the same story at NFL.com. Ahead of the release of the 2025 schedule, the league's broadcast partners will announce select games on the following days. Very well. Again, this is just a theory. I don't know this. I'm not reporting this. I'm just tying together some threads. On Monday,
3 games get announced?
When we are back on Monday, on the Today Show, we find out a game from NBC. That's probably the NFL kickoff opener, the first game. Okay. Eagles and somebody in Philadelphia, the NFL kickoff Thursday night.
Eagles-Cowboys. No, it won't be division.
Could be.
It won't be division.
Fox will announce one. And
not going to be the Bills.
Prime Video will announce one. Now, let's go through the history of Prime.
Let's do it. Short.
It used to be that Prime would announce the first game. Chargers-Chiefs was announced as like a Week 2 game. Maybe the first ever Prime game was Chargers-Chiefs. Then Prime got into the Black Friday game. What does Prime have this year? The third Christmas game.
Yep.
The first 2 are on Netflix, and the third one is on Prime. So Prime has a Christmas game. Prime gets to announce its big, hey, look what you can get on May 12th, Monday. They will announce one of their games. Will it not be the Bills on Christmas night? The night game, 8 p.m. in Buffalo. Close the stadium with Josh Allen, the NFL MVP, against, you decide. Is that, Patriots? Is that Cincinnati?
Yeah.
How big of a game do they want for that? The NFL schedule always has a degree of gambling that this game will still be important way down the line.
Right.
But, you do the best you can. Bills, home, Highmark, 8 p.m. Christmas night. That's my bet.
And that's the regular season finale at the stadium.
Yes. Yep. What a special occasion it would be.
Yes.
Would Bills fans feel more inclined to go on Christmas if it's, hey, it's the last one over here?
And if it's night, it's Christmas Day, yes. Yeah.
So I posted a couple of Twitter polls about this. One, if they're going to play on Christmas, I almost wanted to say, once we accept that they're playing on Christmas, the better off we're all going to be.
They are, yeah.
Would you prefer home or away on Christmas? Give us a call on this. We have wide open phone lines. It's Friday. We're mailing in the show. Kind of. 803-0550. Would you prefer home or away? Would you prefer 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock? Doing that, I'm able to piece together another poll, a third one, all in, based on that, home 4, home 8, away 4, away 8. Guess what everybody wants as their most chose? Home 8 o'clock is the choice. 57% want it to be home. 42%, that's leading the way, would choose it to be at 8 p.m. on Christmas night. And home 8 p.m. when put up against other options, that is the number one choice.
Here's why I would make an argument for away. And I love the conversation about why it could be home and it'd be their regular season finale. I'm good. If that's the case, I'm good with that. I think it's a good idea. Here's why I would tell you I think I could make a case for that game if they're going to play a night game or even just any game on Christmas for it to be away. Because if it's on TV and it's away, it's a 3.5-hour investment on Christmas. If it's home, it's an 8-hour. It's an 8-hour time investment on Christmas.
That's right. There's no disputing that. I mean, when you see what time a game is, it's like, all right, well, 3 hours before.
Yep.
And 2.5 hours after.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that.
It's a 8+ hour time investment on Christmas, and I think a lot of people are going to have to listen. If it comes out there's going to be lots of time to plan. So people will be like, oh, we're really excited about it. That might be our best tailgate of the year, but I would tell you, I think for most people, for it being away, I think it's why having the away games on Thanksgiving have been good for Bills fans. Is everybody can treat Thanksgiving normally, and then there's a Bills game inserted in the middle of it. And I think that's kind of how it would be if it was away. It'd be a normal Christmas with, instead of 24 full hours of a Christmas Story, it'd be like 18 hours of Christmas Story and then Bills football in the evening.
Thanksgiving prime time is also available.
Yeah.
And is that not a prime game? That's a Thursday night. That's Thursday night football. Maybe it's not Christmas night.
CBS, right, is the 12:30 game. Well, now a 1 o'clock game.
CBS,
Fox is the second game.
And then NFL Network used to get that Thursday night game, but
it's prime, I would guess, because I think NBC. No, it's been NBC.
It has. Okay.
Yes, because I remember they did the Thursday and then they had to go back to back and do the Sunday night.
Okay. Well, could be Thanksgiving night. What if we get just all the holidays?
I think there's a good chance that the Bills will have the most home primetime games they've ever had.
I
think they're going to get every network at home.
Yeah, that seems possible. And again, 4:25 isn't exactly the prime time, but
it's the national
standalone.
window.
Right? Nance and Romo are here for Bills.
But I think
Bills Bengals
Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, and a prime. Well, prime is. So what would be the other? Yeah, I think they're going to have a home primetime game on every network. This is the last year in the stadium. 100% to me. If they end up with, how many primetime games did they have last year without flex? 7?
You're allowed to have 6 and then add 1 in, I believe. Or 6 is the cap.
I think you can guarantee they're getting 6 with a potential flex at 7.
Yeah.
And 4 might be home.
If you had the power, would you undo it and play Sundays at 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Isn't that just a thing we like to complain about without actually thinking we just want to play Sunday at 1 o'clock?
I remember.
Can anybody else
being envious?
Feel that?
I remember being envious of primetime. I'm no longer envious of primetime.
You would prefer 0. You would prefer
to
go back
0.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
1 or 2.
You have the opportunity to go back to all Sunday at 1. You push that button?
Yeah, I would. Sunday 1 o'clock is just such an elite. It feels right. It feels like NFL football.
Nobody's seeing your games anymore. Well, I mean, you're still seeing some games. It was 8 games on at a time.
Right.
You're not winning the MVP playing Sunday at 1.
Probably not. Well,
you might.
No, probably not.
You might.
Yeah.
803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. London is possible still, but there's a report that actually both spots the Bills could go would be locked up. It could be Pittsburgh in Ireland or Cleveland in London, and there's a report that Minnesota will get both of those games.
I would really like, if they're going to get an international game, the Ireland game would be, it'd be a really good game. I don't care. I won't even care who the opponent is, but if Bills Steelers in Ireland, you have probably the 2 best traveling fan bases in the league. That would be good. That'd be really good.
It does mean we don't get to go try and take over Pittsburgh, which, depending how late in the season that is, and if Mason Rudolph's their quarterback or not. They might trade for Romeo Doubs. They might add Aaron Rodgers. Still, Pittsburgh's offseason's not over yet. I mean, they just made it.
No, it kind of feels like it's starting.
Right, they just traded a receiver, so it's definitely still happening. Anyway, who's the best? If they're going to play Christmas, Last year's Christmas games were good games.
They were good games.
They were 4 playoff teams in the AFC.
It was the Chiefs, right?
Chiefs and Steelers.
Yeah.
And Texans-Ravens.
And that game, I remember, we were invested in that Chiefs-Steelers game.
Yes, because if the Chiefs won, they locked up the 1 seed. And they did. It wasn't a close game either. They pretty much cruised the whole time.